Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to my channel and to this mobility practice for the upper back and shoulders today. For those of you that don't know me, mobility is my go-to. If I have nothing else available to me other than about 10-15 minutes to move my body, mobility is where I will go. But otherwise, I like to incorporate it into my yoga flow practices or other workouts that I do as well. This session will involve other areas of the body, but we're going to really focus into that upper back and shoulder area. If you would like to have one to hand, you might want to use a block at a couple of different points, but otherwise all you need is a space. Let's hop on the mat. This is a floor-based practice today, and we're just going to begin with some shoulder rolls. So just slowly roll the shoulders back a couple of times, and then we're going to switch directions and roll them forwards. And then with a breath, we're going to take them all the way up towards the ears, as high as we can. And then just sigh the breath out and slowly drop them away. And just keep going. This serves as a really good reminder. We often walk around carrying the shoulders quite high when we feel tense or when we feel cold or any of those other types of things. And this just lets us know just how far those shoulders can drop. So you might want to do that one more time, slowly letting them drop, and just really observe how far that they can drop. Okay, I'm going to come into this side view. So we're going to interlace the hands together. And as we take a breath in, we're going to draw the hands away, hug into the belly, and just round out the upper back and shoulders, dropping the chin to the chest. I'm going to move on the exhale, but this is your choice. We're going to draw the elbows out, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest, lifting the gaze a little bit. And then again, just bringing the fingers together, rounding out the upper back and shoulders, dropping the chin. And then just coming into a little bit of a rhythmic movement. It doesn't matter if you're going a little bit faster or a little bit slower than me. This is your body, so lean into what it's telling you as you move. And this time, maybe as you draw up, you might like to take the arms out wide. And next time, you could cross the arms one over the other, catching hold of the shoulders and rounding out the upper back and shoulders, dropping the chin to the chest here. And then again, maybe with that exhale, opening the arms. This is called a breath of freedom, creating space in both the front and the back line of the body. And just alternating, crossing the arms over. So we talk about not just breathing into the front and back of the spine, but the front and back of the heart center as well. Last one here. And then we can just drop the hands down. So now we're going to come into a tabletop, so into all fours. And you just plant the hands down, maybe a little bit further forward than the shoulders. I'm just going to come to face you so that you can see my hands. And we're just going to do something called north, east, south, and west to just come into a little bit of wrist mobility for a moment and just begin moving the hands in different directions. You might find that they go in the same direction to begin with until you get a bit more comfortable with that movement. And then you can go wherever you like. And we use our hands for everything, okay? But unless we're doing kind of a manual job, we don't always think about it, but we use phones, we use tablets, we use computers, we pick things up, we grasp, pick up the kids, whatever it might be. And over time, some real restrictions can creep in there, especially in our dominant hand. So this gives you an idea of where that might be for you, especially if you're turning the fingertips around to face the knees. You might feel a restriction there. That's quite common. And you can do this on a desk as well. You don't have to be floor-based, but just maybe 60 seconds of this on a regular basis can really improve range of motion in the wrists. So I'm going to draw the fingertips out to the sides, so away from each other, and just rock from side to side. And then we're going to bring them towards each other. And you might just wiggle the fingers, you might rock from side to side. And then you're going to turn them all the way round and a little bit closer to the knees. I'm going to do this from the side. And we draw back where the toes are tucked or untucked so that we're not pouring all the weight into the back of the hand here. And don't worry if the hand doesn't come all the way round. And then you're just going to peel the hands away and give them a little bit of a shake out. Okay, coming back into this all fours, we're going to come into a short sequence for the scapulars and the spine. So pushing through into the finger pads, so we're spreading the weight nice and evenly through the hand, so it's not all going into the heel of the hand. We're going to just work the shoulder blades. So we're literally going to dip into the shoulder blades and push up, maybe about 8 times. And we'll do it 3 times. And I have quite a large range of motion in this area, so don't worry if it feels like you're not moving as much as I might look to be moving. This is why we're working towards it, and then sink back towards the heels. Maybe just stretch the arms out a little bit and just rock the hips from side to side so we can work into kind of the groin and inner thigh area. And draw yourself back up, and we're going to do 8 more. And just as you did before, sink it back. You might choose stillness over rocking from side to side. It's your choice. And coming up. And again. And 3, 2, 1, and sink it back. This time, I'm going to creep the hands round to one side. So we're going to take the stretch into the side line of the body. Maybe you reach away with that right hand a little bit more. And then take it over to the opposite side. And again, reaching away. Come back to center. And just draw yourself back up into that tabletop. So we're going to come up onto active finger pads. Okay, so we're going to come off the heel of that hand and walk the hands away from us. So coming up off the heel of the hand is a really good wrist strengthener, okay? And it's gonna kind of aid us to get a little bit more movement in the body. So we're gonna keep the bottom up high. So just keep this kind of right angle going here. It doesn't have to be exact. And we're gonna find some lift. So lift the belly, wave the spine long. And as you exhale, sink the chest down towards the mat or the floor. Inhale, lift depending on what you're practicing on. And we find that fluidity in movement, so kind of like a moving puppy pose. It's gonna work extension of the spine, opening out the chest. So if we sit for long periods of time, we can have restrictions in the, not just the chest, but the upper back and shoulders. So if it feels quite intense, stay up a little bit high. And you can just work on those spinal waves. If you want to focus on coming down lower, that's all good too. You might have a block just resting where your head will contact the earth just to back off a little bit. And then the fingertips might come down on the forearms and the elbows, and you might just take a moment there. Take a breath in. Sigh out, and just draw the heels back towards, or the bottom back towards your heels, and rock from side to side. Okay, a little bit more movement coming up here. So we're going to take the knees a little bit wider now and come into a bit more rotation and movement for the shoulder joint. And so you're going to take a breath in, slide the hands up. And as you exhale, you're going to thread one arm underneath the other. And we're going to keep that moving. So Take a breath in, lift and rise, and then swap the arms over, reaching those fingertips. Working into the shoulders, and also a little bit of a twist for the spine as we again work into the hips. That's the lush thing about some of these mobility practices, is even though our focus might be on the upper back and the shoulder area, we're actually working multiple areas of the body. Just a couple more. And then draw the hands out, maybe take them away in front of you, maybe rest the head. And find your way back up into that tabletop. Creep the hands a little bit forwards. And from here, we're going to find some fluidity of movement with those waves. Kind of like a water wheel, if you like. So we're going to draw back towards the heels. Inhale, draw the chest forwards. And as you exhale, hug in, round out the upper back and shoulders and send yourself back. So inhale, draw forwards. Exhale, up and over. Working with the breath as well, finding that support for the rhythm. And can you go the opposite way? Take a breath in here, and as you exhale this time, coming up and over and softening the elbows. Try and soften them back towards you. And then free that off with a little bit of movement there. Come to seated. We're just going to do a check-in. We started off with that breath of freedom movement. So take the arms out, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, one arm draws across. And then just see if you've got a little bit more juiciness or space. Draw the arms up and exhale, take them all the way out around your side. I hope you enjoyed that very short and sweet practice for the upper back and shoulders. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, maybe drop a comment around what you liked the most, and subscribe to the channel so I can keep sharing practices for you. Take care, and I will see you next time.